here on the Louisiana Hayride. His name is Hank Williams, the drifting cowboy.
On the Grand Ole Opry, Bill Monroe and his Bluegrass Boys.
Hi, this is Emmylou Harris.
Hi, folks. This is Sam Bush.
Hello, this is Odetta.
This is Joan Baez, and you're listening to the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour.
And now, gather the family around and sit back in your easy chair. It's time again for the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour, our worldwide celebration of grassroots music. Let's welcome folk singer Michael Jonathan.
Winter skies and evening songs, everything is beautiful and nothing is wrong, but I know it's just the blues tonight. Midnight comes on my windowsill, my baby's gone and I'm lonesome still. I know it's just the blues. I hear a moan of a midnight train. Can I catch that dream holding you again? Well, I say a prayer and nobody's there, but that's alright. It's just the blues tonight. I hear a moan of a midnight train. Can I catch that dream holding you again? Well, I say a prayer and nobody's there, but that's alright. It's just the blues tonight. That's alright, girl. It's just the blues.
WoodSongs is presented in part by our family of WoodSongs partners, by the Kentucky Department of Tourism and VisitLex.com, inviting people from all over the world to visit our lakes, mountains, parks, sports, music and art festivals, and more. You can explore everything Kentucky has to offer your family vacation online at KentuckyTourism.com, and by Ear Trumpet Labs, handcrafted microphones used by roots music and bluegrass musicians worldwide. Online at eartrumpetLabs.com.
And welcome, everybody, to the beautiful and historic Lyric Theater here in our hometown of Lexington, Kentucky. We are broadcasting literally all over the world, from Australia to Ireland, New Zealand to New York, Yuma, Arizona to the Yukon, across Canada. We are celebrating this wonderful world of front porch music. It's grassroots, organic, real singer-songwriters, real instruments, real passion and love. And we say it every single week. You don't have to be famous to be on WoodSongs. You just have to be very, very good. That's the case of both of the artists that we're going to introduce you to on this particular broadcast, and we have an absolutely amazing WoodSongs kid, so let's get on with it. He comes to us all the way from Southeast Texas. He shows the importance of music in the schools. His very first experience seeing live music was in his grade school, so we're going to talk to him about that and how he's pursued his career since then. He's got a new album called Not Alone. This is a tune called Futures Past. Please welcome Nick Taylor to the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour.
It was August. I was moving couches from a house I didn't own. I was searching for a road, lead me to a dream I'd never known. I was certain I'd be gone by now. This life would be forgotten in my mind. Ah, but here I am in a bed, just like the one I left behind. With that room spinning around like a carousel, not too likely to be gone too soon. I was stoned and drunk, writing songs in the kitchen while you danced to the rhythm around me. Well, it wasn't much, but it felt like a life I'd like to lead. We spent half that summer lighting candles for another time, praying for the lights to come back on. We were sweating in the night, waiting for the break of dawn. With that room spinning around like a carousel, we were stuck, stubborn young fools. I was waiting on you to set me free, like I never thought I could be. No, it was snowing out, and I was writing letters to hang out on a line. And I had a dream, had a future I was sure could be mine. It was half as lonesome as when I had just gotten through. There was only one thing that I had left to do. Leave that room spinning around like a carousel, find a future I could call my own.
His album is called Not Alone. That's a song called Futures Past. Nick Taylor, it's nice to have you join our little front porch party here.
Thank you for having me.
All the way from Texas.
Yes.
And where's home for you right now?
I'm currently living in Austin.
Are you from there originally? Is that your birthplace?
No, I grew up in a town called Huffman, outside of Houston, on the northeast side of Houston.
The humidity capital of the world.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now, there's a lot of amazing musicians that come from the great state of Texas. Michael Martin Murphy, Joe Ely, Townes Van Zandt, Guy Clark. You know, all these. Were they big influences on you as you were growing up?
Oh yeah, definitely. They were always on whatever truck I was in at the time. They were always playing on the radio. Yeah.
Now, music. We mentioned when we were introducing you that being in school and experiencing music was a live band that came to your school, right?
Yeah, it wasn't even that came to my school. It was like the middle school band or something that came. I was in 5th grade at the time. They came trying to recruit people to come into the band the next year, and that was the first time I remember I'd seen anybody play music together like that, and it just took me.
So what was it that took you? What was it? You saw them. I'm sure they were not the greatest in the world, but you're right. They're a middle school band, right? Yeah. They're learning, right? But there was something about it that affected you. What was your impression?
Well, you can feel the connection between, however bad they were, which, it was my first time seeing them. Maybe they were, I'm sure they were probably not as good as I remember them being, but that connection between all the musicians there all at once.
And what was the instrument of choice? What did you start playing when you were a kid?
It wasn't by choice, but I played trombone when I was a kid.
Trombone,
Yeah.
so that's not the instrument that you play when you want to get a lot of girlfriends.
No.
No. So when did you start with the guitar? Because that's really the songwriter's go-to instrument, right?
Yeah, I didn't start playing guitar till I was probably 18, I think. I was in college, and I'm a jazz school dropout, and I figured I needed to play something, and guitar was easier than a piano to lug around.
And songwriting, did that happen right away for you? I mean, is this something that you just splurged into and it just bathed over you like a tsunami, or it took a while?
I wish it was quick, but it wasn't. It took a pretty long time. I started playing guitar when I was 18, and I guess I didn't write my first song till I was 25 or so.
Really?
Yeah, I wrote a lot of half songs, a lot of quarter songs. I wrote a verse here, chorus there. And
So describe for our audience, a lot of them know music and they know artists write songs, but what was your process? I mean, it took you a while to get comfortable with it, of course, but once you started, what was your process? You're sitting down, you're with your guitar, what's happening?
yeah, so usually it starts out with an idea that I have, just walk around town or something, write it down on my phone or notebook or whatever's around me, and then I'll take time and say I'm going to write right now, and I'll go through the pile of ideas and just try and kind of form a story around that idea. And sometimes the song takes you fully different direction, than you originally thought the story was going.
A lot of times you don't understand the song till after it's written.
Right, yeah.
That there's something internal, almost unconscious that happens when you're writing, and it's not really exposed to you until after it's done, and you go, oh, wow, I had no idea.
Right, yeah.
So you're going to do a tune called Dead Land Future. What is this one about? What was the process on this one?
Yeah, so I wrote the first line first. It's, you'll hear it, but when I first moved to Austin, I was working on some farms around there, and some of them better than others, and not to name any names, but it was quite the experience, and I felt like I needed to write a song about it, so started out with this first line and just kind of went on from there.
Well, let's check it out. His album is called Not Alone. This is a tune off there called Dead Land Future. It's Nick Taylor, all the way from Texas, on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour.
I blew both my shoulders at the age of 23, working toward another man's dream. He'd curse and holler, throwing my name into the wind. I'm burning bridges, trying to get away. Seems this land is dead and now there's buzzards overhead. He chopped and swallowed everything she gave. I'm hearing talk and building as far as you can see, throwing cities up on old forgotten graves. Just tell me that it won't have been for nothing. We're all gonna make it out alive, or I'm headed out of Texas in the morning. I'm looking for a new way to survive. Oh, I'm looking for a new way to survive. We were drinking ourselves silly, telling lies to ease the pain. We started this to earn an honest pay, but the greed and anger feeding all the seed that we laid kept us loyal to the butcher of the land. In the cold and still night, when the howling echoes low and the woods creak like they're calling spirits home, you You can feel the past that's sleeping in the soil under heel, preaching dead land, future on the rise. Just tell me that it won't have been for nothing. We're all gonna make it out alive, or I'm headed out of Texas in the morning. I'm looking for a new way to survive. Oh, I'm looking for a new way to survive.
All the way from Texas, his album is Not Alone. It is Nick Taylor on our broadcast. If you want to know more about the music of Nick Taylor, any of the artists that you ever hear on the WoodSongs broadcast, all you have to do is go to the archive page of the WoodSongs website. This particular show is show number 1134. You get to follow the music of Nick Taylor as well as our next artist. Now, Nick is from Texas, doing the kind of country music. Our next artist is doing the same, but she comes from the magnificent rolling hills of Bluefield, Virginia. She's now based in Nashville, Tennessee. She's making her career as a country artist, and she's got a single right now. She's going to do the song for that. It's called Pick Your Poison. Please welcome Mackenzie Phipps to the WoodSongs Old Time Radio.
Scream, and I know after this fight you'll go to that bar across the street, and I'll be left here all alone thinking, what the hell did I do wrong? Well, you'll be dialing up that phone, calling that girl I've known about all along, and I'm sure that she's just one of a kind, the perfect girl for every guy. I bet you talk to her all night, and all I can say is you can have it your way, but if you come back home tonight, you may see hell at first sight. I do that $100 whiskey out the door, flushed all them pills down the drain. You won't be feeling good no more. And I found your stash and lit it all over the floor. So when I pour that gasoline, hit it going right out to the bars. When I see your car pulling right in, I'll look at you and say, you picked your poison. It's 2 in the morning, you're nowhere to be seen. You're probably back at her apartment, cozied up under the sheets. You know I put up with your games more times than I can truly count. So when you're finally through with me, I think she'll start to figure out that you may seem like you're one of a kind, the kind to walk her home at night. You'll give the picture perfect light. And after some years go right on by, she'll start to see the lies behind those deep sapphire eyes. So I do that $100 whiskey out the door, flushed all them pills down the drain. You won't be feeling good no more. And I found your stash and lit it all over the floor. So when I pour that gasoline, hit it right out to the birds. When I see your car pulling right in, I look at you and say, you picked your poison. I knew that when I finally be over you, I'd sure end up putting you through the hell that I went through. So I threw that $100 whiskey out the door, flushed all them pills down the drain. You won't be feeling good, hello.
Pick your poison, the very powerful, strong voice of Mackenzie Phipps. Now spell that so people can find you. Phipps.
Yep, that is correct.
Phipps, very unusual name. Now you grew up in the rolling hills of Virginia, probably a very rural part of the state, right?
Yes.
And family was a big, important part of you. A lot of music in your family?
Yes, that is correct. My late uncle, Ron Simons, he was actually very big into music, especially with me growing up. He was actually one of the very first people in my lives that knew that I had something going with music, and he got to work with so many different artists, such as Johnny Cash's younger brother and Crystal Gale and Alison Krauss, so I am very fortunate that I got to spend as much time with him as I could before he left this earth.
And you started singing, you were like 4 years old when you started, right? And your grandma would take you to church? Mm-hmm. Right, and that's and a lot of folks begin their musical careers listening to the singing in their local congregations, right?
Yes.
And that was the case with you. What was the influence of your grandma in all of this?
Well, when I was 4, she would take me to church, and she was the kind of woman that always had to be at service like half an hour before it even got started. And we would go in, and I would go over to the piano, and I would remember songs that I learned from Sunday school, and I would just hear it in my head how I wanted it to play on the piano, and I started singing, and that was kind of when she realized that I had a gift for singing, so she'd take me to her house, and I'd sit on top of her kitchen table, and she'd teach me different hymns for me to sing at Sunday church.
And piano was your first instrument, right? You were like, what, 10 years old or so when you started? Was that a hard thing for you to learn at 10? I mean, that's a a guitar is one plane, and then a piano is on a horizontal plane, so it's a different thought process, right?
Definitely different. It wasn't too difficult for me to learn piano. The only thing that hindered me was I have very small hands, so my teacher was very shocked that I could hit some of the octave notes, but I learned piano when I was 10, and then as I got older, I learned guitar when I was about 14, 15 years old, and the older I got, the more I realized I had a stronger adoration to listen to the piano rather than to play it. So I don't play it too often now, but I still very much love listening to it.
And so guitar is your main go-to instrument. That's the one that you write on, correct? Yes. Okay. And you're here with a great guitar player. Shane Begley is playing second guitar with you, doing a super fine job. What was it about country music that pulled you toward it? Because you moved from Virginia, now you're in Nashville, right? The hotbed of country music, or trying to still stay that way, right? I mean, Nashville, and we're not criticizing Nashville, but it's really changed a lot the last 5, 6, 7 years, right? So what was the pull for you to leave your home state to go into Tennessee, to Nashville, to try to find your country voice?
Well, I love my hometown, but there's not much there for music. We have a Walmart, what every small town has, and I'm always forever grateful for my hometown and the support that I've been given there. And when I decided to move to Tennessee, it was definitely on a career mode, and I just felt like it was the place the Lord wanted me to be, in Tennessee, to help pursue my music career. And I chose country kind of later on in my life, in my later teen years, and I just kind of went with country because I felt like it fit my voice the best. So now here I am writing my own stuff.
So who are the artists that you would listen to? I mean, every artist, every singer-songwriter, every artist starts by emulating who they admired. So, which is nothing wrong with that. It's how you learn. So who are you emulating as you were learning your country voice?
Definitely like Loretta Lynn, Reba McEntire. I get a lot of comparisons to Leanne Rimes, so definitely those artists helped shape me into who I am today.
Well, let's go ahead and listen to more of your songs. You're going to do a tune called 18 Wheels. She's all the way from Nashville, Tennessee. Mackenzie Phipps on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour.
My daddy held our lives together on 18 wheels for 18 years, of countless miles from home. That old Mack truck that he would drive didn't have a radio, but that didn't stop him from singing country songs. And the day they laid him in the ground, you could hear a faint familiar sound, a jake brake in the distance slowing down. When my daddy's wheels stopped turning, he was heaven bound. He lived a trucker's life in this old cold town. truck rolled in, I knew it was my best friend. Was a life he lived on 18 wheels. Looking back on growing up, we didn't have very much, but with Daddy I felt like I had everything. And Mama did her best with Daddy on the road. Those late night calls would help him get back home. Sometimes I sit in his old seat and I think of the memories. I can still hear the diesel engine shifting gears. When my daddy's wheels stopped turning, he was heaven bound. He lived a trucker's life in this old cold town. And when I hear that truck rolling, I knew it was my best friend. Was a life he lived on 18 wheels. So the next time you're in a grocery store or staring out of your car door, just thank the Lord above for a trucker. When my daddy's wheels stopped turning, he was heaven bound. He lived a trucker's life in this old cold town. And when I'd hear that truck roll in, I knew it was my best friend. Was a life he lived on 18 wheels. Was a life he lived on 18 wheels.
What a beautiful song. 18 Wheels. Mackenzie Phipps is on our broadcast, and all the way from the great state of Texas. Nick Taylor's here with songs from his new album as well. And oh my, wait till you meet this week's WoodSongs kid. We're going to be back right after this.
You're listening to WoodSongs Show number 1134, broadcasting around the world by the foothills of Appalachia in Lexington, Kentucky. If you would like to attend a WoodSongs broadcast, you can find reservation and show schedules on our website, woodsongs.com. We'll be back after the break with Nick Taylor, Mackenzie Fipps, and our amazing WoodSongs kid on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour. WoodSongs is presented in part by the Kentucky Department of Tourism and VisitLex.com, inviting families from all over the world to celebrate Lexington's 250th anniversary year. WoodSongs is an all-volunteer multimedia front porch for artists worldwide. You can visit our archive of past shows, attend a broadcast while in Kentucky, or become a WoodSongs partner from our website, woodsongs.com.
This is Michael Martin Murphy, and you're listening to Michael Jonathan in the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour.
And thank you, Michael Martin Murphy. Welcome back, everybody, as we're enjoying this wonderful broadcast here in our hometown of Lexington, Kentucky, at the historic Kentucky Theater. We're at the crossroads of America's folk and bluegrass music, the gateway city to the magnificent Appalachian Mountains. And we're heard all over the world on great radio stations like Red River Radio across Louisiana, North Texas, and Arkansas, High Plains Public Radio broadcasting across Kansas and northern Texas. We're on Arizona Public Radio, the 11 stations of WVLP VFT in Virginia, WETL in South Bend, Indiana. So many stations, so many people tuning in, and we're glad to welcome all of them. We're also broadcasting on 2 channels worldwide on American Forces Radio Network. It puts this show on the radio in 177 nations, from South Korea to Kuwait, plus every single military base in the world, every U.S. naval ship in the world, every Coast Guard vessel sailing in North America. And as always, we want to remember the men and women that are tuning in, the fans, the public, bringing them a little taste of America's front porch, Australia's front porch, Canada's front porch, Ireland's front porch. That's what we celebrate on our broadcast. We're on public television coast to coast, the RFD television network, nationwide. We're also in schools with lesson plans. If you're a teacher, a homeschool parent, if you go to the WoodSongs website, just click on the classroom page, which is why we invite youngsters on our broadcast. They come from all over the nation. They get to sing one song in the presence of seasoned touring artists like Nick Taylor from Texas, like Mackenzie Phipps, all the way from Nashville, Tennessee. And today we have 14-year-old Reese Carroll. Let's say hi to Reese. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay.
So now you have a banjo. What kind of banjo are you playing here?
I'm playing a Frank Neat banjo. It's a Kentucky model.
And it's a 5-string banjo, right? It's got the resonator. So you obviously have a lot of banjo heroes. Who are your heroes?
J.D. Crowe, Earl Scruggs, Ralph Stanley, you know, all the big
A lot of the traditional type. Now, there's a lot of adventurous banjo players like Bela Fleck and others. Do you get into that, or do you stay more on the traditional bluegrass kind of?
I like a little bit of both. I like Bela Fleck stuff. I think he does an amazing job. But mostly what I play is Flatt and Scruggs, J.D. Crowe and the New South, all of those more traditional sounding bluegrass bands.
Now, you're 14 years old now. How long have you been playing the banjo?
I've been playing the banjo for 6 years.
6 years. Now, when you started playing the banjo at 8 years old, the banjo was almost as tall as you were at the time, right?
It almost was a problem.
Yeah. So how did you manage around that? How did you learn the instrument with it? It was scale-wise, it was kind of big for you, right? And heavy. They're heavy.
I had to have little cloths put underneath the strap, even though I had a padded strap. You know, 8 years old, I'm pretty sensitive. Then I had to have the banjo all the way up almost to my face to be able to, my little short arms to fit all the way up there on the neck.
And to reach the frets and play it. So you must have loved it so much that you went through all of that and you just kept on going, right?
Yes, sir.
Love is a very powerful thing in music, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And it's nice to see, like right now we're seeing the rise of artists like Billy Strings, right? Bringing Doc Watson and all this great bluegrass, and he's putting 20,000 people into arenas, and he's playing just old-time front porch music. That's kind of encouraging for you, isn't it?
It's very encouraging.
And so what are you hoping to do with yourself and your music? I mean, you're a great player, and folks are about ready to hear you. So what's your goals?
My big goal right now is to make it to Nashville, Tennessee to play on the Grand Ole Opry and maybe the Ryman Auditorium.
Well, you know, we've had about a dozen WoodSongs kids move on and get noticed, and a lot of them have played the Grand Ole Opry. Wyatt Ellis and Phoebe White and so many others. So I'm sure you're on your way. He's going to do a great traditional tune called Shuckin' the Corn. Is this the Flatt and Scruggs version or the J.D. Crowe version?
It's going to be the Flatt and Scruggs version.
All right, let's check him out. Shuckin' the Corn is the name of the song. Reese Carroll, 14 years old, this week's WoodSongs Kid. 14 years old, he's already a master banjo player, Reese Carroll, and we're very proud that Reese Carroll is a Kentucky boy. He's right here from our home state. We're very proud of all our WoodSongs kids. We love them. If you've got a youngster that you think belongs on our stage, if you're a parent, if you're a guardian, go to the WoodSongs website, click on the kids page, and we look at every single submission comes in, and oh my goodness, it's always painful for the artist that has to follow the WoodSongs kids performance. And in this case, it's Nick Taylor. He's going to do another song from his album, Not Alone. It's a song called Dogs. Nick Taylor from Texas on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour.
With the dogs that are in my head, every turn that I make wanna wind up dead. I don't know how I got here today, but I'm stumbling and I'm making my way. Oh yeah. It's no use now in asking them how. Make my own waves in an ocean this brave. So I took what I could, now the lesson's close. I wish they understood. Oh yeah. There's more to life than the games we play, and the smiles, though they sometimes fade away. But the world keeps turning on, and it ain't going in, ain't going in, ain't going in. This hard, stubborn pride runs with blood in my veins. It's been like this for far too long. And the family say we can't ever change, but I'm here to prove them wrong. Oh yeah. So lay your children down, kiss their heads, making sure you're listening to the words that are said. And nothing else you take from my song. Said I'm not the only one who ain't strong, who ain't strong, who ain't strong, who ain't strong.
Good tune. The song's called Dogs from his album Not Alone. So let's recap this here, Nick. You heard your first musicians when you were in the 5th grade in school, right? And that really impressed you.
Yeah.
Right? And you started writing songs. It took you about until you were like 18. And you didn't really finish a song until you were 25.
That's right.
So you're not exactly Speedy Gonzales in all this, right? And this new album, Not Alone, this is your premiere, this is your first album, right?
It is, yeah.
So you're obviously very deliberate in the steps that you take, but you've been performing in Austin for quite a while.
Yeah, it's quite some time. Well, maybe not as long as I've been performing all, total, but I've been doing this thing maybe 5-6 years now, but before that I was doing quite a bit of singing in kind of the jazz realm and doing a bunch of stuff up in DFW that way.
So are you band-oriented, or do you perform mostly solo?
I used to, for a long time, I was solo only, and I was kind of stubborn about it. But when this album came out, it's a full band record, and I figured I better get a band put together in Austin.
You want to express the tracking of the album, right?
Right.
But you do really good by yourself, so I would really think, don't be ashamed of that, right? And the Austin music scene, we were talking to Mackenzie about how Nashville's changed quite a bit. Austin has changed a lot too, where it used to be a very organic, small club type of place where with very welcoming community and stuff. I'm not saying it's not still there, but the atmosphere of Austin has changed. How would you describe it now?
Oh, you know, it's hard to say. There's
We're not trying to say a negative, but we're just describing what is. Yeah.
There's different kind of areas, you know. Everyone is very supportive of each other. That's for sure. The gigs are still around. Maybe they're changing it. It's hard to say because you know I'm in the middle of it. So
is it easy for a musician to make a living performing in Austin? I know in Nashville it's not.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of venues. It's a kind of let's just be fair too. We're not picking on Austin and Nashville. I mean, America is a venue-starved country as far as live performances. So what's it like for you there in Austin? How do you play? Where do you play?
Yeah, I play as often as I can. Usually a few times a month, but it's very difficult to make a living doing it. Anywhere really. Most of the people I know have separate jobs during the day, and they're doing this thing at night. Traveling around, working remotely sometimes now, which is nice.
It's a lot of work to do this thing they call playing. Right?
Yeah.
Now you're originally from around Houston. There was a beautiful club out there called Anderson Fair. That was the home of like Nancy Griffith and so many others. Is there a place like that in Austin?
In Austin, yeah, I think there's a few of them. The Saxon Pub is one of them for sure, and the Continental Club. Antone's is also there. There's some really great.
Antone's is famous. Yeah, that's a real famous club.
The Cactus Cafe on the UT campus, that's another really great one. There's a lot of really legendary venues where some people have, the greats have played, you know.
Always worth checking out. His album is worth checking out. That CD is called Not Alone. This is a tune called Song About the Glory. It is Nick Taylor on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio.
Take the turnpike, save some time. Rest up when I can. Working nights to make a dime and find out who I am. It's been years since I left my home, if it ever was. When I was younger, I was told the wrong boy, wanna be one of us. I hear songs about the glory, wonder when my day will come. My heart is getting tired, finding hope, there's none. Like to settle on the prairie, build a home out of sticks, pretend I'm a man who's found his luck again. I imagine the dream washing right up to my feet. Close my eyes and I drift out to sea. I hear songs about the glory, wonder when my day will come. My heart is getting tired, finding hope, there's none. Finding hope, there's none.
a wonderful album by a really fine singer-songwriter. The album is called Not Alone. If you want to find out more about Nick Taylor's music, you just go to the WoodSongs website, click on the archive page. This is show number 1134. We'll tell you about Nick, and also how you can contact the next artist. She's all the way from Nashville, Tennessee, originally from Virginia. She's got a very interesting song title here called You Bring the Beer, I'll Bring the Noise. It's Mackenzie Phipps on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour.
Virginia that I call home, where the moon shines clear as the water where the river flows. We've been on to get a little bit rowdy in the evening time, and there's nothing like an Appalachian starlit summer night. I'm from a small town, but I got some city dreams, making my way round, playing on six strings on these backwoods trails are raising hell. Sunday morning, hallelujahs will live away. I got some deep roots with this heart of mine, walking on blacktop, running on borrowed time. I'm just a country girl out here partying with southern boys. You bring the beer and I bring the noise. We got Friday night tailgates right before the football game. Out on every corner, everyone knows your name. And the roads out here will get you lost and turn around. But back deep in the heart, there is one place that I'll be found. I'm from a small town, but I got some city dreams, making my way round, playing on six strings on these backwoods trails, the raising hell. Sunday morning, hallelujahs will live away. I got some deep roots with this heart of mine, walking on blacktop, running on borrowed time. Just a country girl out here partying with southern boys. You bring the beer and I bring the noise. The Hatfields and McCoys are part of our lives, and you can't sing country roads without singing it twice. I'm from a small town, and I got some city dreams, making my way round, playing on six strings on these backwoods trails, raising hell. Sunday morning, hallelujahs and live away. I got some deep roots with this heart of mine, walking on blacktop, running on borrowed time. Just a country girl out here partying with southern boys. You bring the beer and I bring the noise. You bring the beer and I bring the noise.
Mackenzie Phipps, and let's give Shane Begley playing guitar with her a big round of applause. Doing a fine, tasty job on that six string. So Mackenzie, you started performing, literally performing, when you were like about 14, 15 years old, right? Where does a young girl perform at 14 years old?
Places I should not have been at.
Yeah.
14 years old.
So you know the clubs, you know,
Yeah.
you'd sneak in.
Restaurants, dive bars, that kind of thing.
And every artist loves performing in front of big audiences, and one of the biggest audiences anybody could perform would be like singing the national anthem in front of like a baseball game. And you used to do that,
yes,
right? And you were told the old wives' tale of not having anything to eat 2 hours before you sing, right? And so it's a really hot day, and you're getting ready to sing. You didn't know I knew this, did you?
I did not.
So what happened to you? You're all set to sing in front of this huge crowd, and what happened?
Well, I was playing at the baseball stadium an hour before I was supposed to do the anthem, and I was like, I'm just going to eat a big lunch. I'll wait until after I get done to eat dinner. And so I'm playing for an hour with my guitar. It's like 80 degrees in Virginia, which is not too hot compared to Texas. But I get to my very last song, and I just, boop.
You just totally
Just-
fainted, right?
Yep, my guitar and the mic caught me. Had they not been there, I probably would have like busted my head open.
Probably scared the tar out of everybody around
Oh
you,
yeah,
right?
my mom came running.
Another thing that you do, and I wish we had more time to talk about it, but you are very interested in pets and animals, right? So what do you do with that?
I am very much involved in shelter work. I have 2 shelter babies of my own, 2 little cats, and back in West Virginia, I used to volunteer at a local animal shelter, and I I created a segment called Take Me Home Thursday, where I would showcase an animal every Thursday in hopes of finding them a new home.
It's a very kind and loving thing that you're doing, so it's a good extension of a career, right? So your last song was entitled You Bring the Beer, I'll Bring the Noise, and continuing that theme, right, you're going to end the show with a song called Love Me Sober. So any little hints about that before we hear it? Might as well
The song
just...
will speak for itself.
Will speak for itself. Mackenzie Phipps on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio.
She's been waiting on him to pull in the drive, wondering what's to come. He's been at the bar since cordial night, down in coke and rums. He's broke her heart, she's put back together, time and time again. He finally walks through the front door. She asks, where the hell have you been? She says, I wish I was your bourbon glass, I'd be close to your fingertips. And I wish I was a cigarette, 'cause I'd be finally near your lips. We've cussed and fought for so long, but there's no saving what's over. I just never understood how hard it was for you to love me sober. He always comes in swearing up and down that tonight was the last time. But then the next day he's up and leaving town, buying booze on his last old dime. She runs back into the bedroom, packing up all her things. He says to her, I love you, and I promise you I could change. He says, I wish I was your bourbon glass, I'd be close to your fingertips. And I wish I was a cigarette, 'cause I'd be finally near your lips. We've cussed and fought for so long, but there's no saving what's over. I just never understood how hard it was for you to love me sober. Yeah. She tells him all that time and effort just to get thrown down the drain. I can't keep sitting here just to get her when I know you ain't gonna change. She says, I wish I was your bourbon glass, I'd be close to your fingertips. Wish I was a cigarette, I'd be finally near your lips. We've cussed and fought for so long, and there's no saving what's over. I just never understood how hard it was. I guess I'll never understand how hard it was for you to love me sober. For you to love me sober.
From the arena to the delicate voice of an angel. Wasn't it great having Mackenzie Phipps on our broadcast all the way from Nashville? Our WoodSongs kid this week, Reese Carroll, 14 years old on his banjo. And from Texas, Nick Taylor. We thank all of you folks for coming out here. There's a There's a passion, there's a love, a deep, deep affection that happens in the arts. Henry David Thoreau said, to affect the quality of the day, that is the highest of arts. And certainly, young Reese Carroll does that, and Mackenzie does that, and Nick does that as well. You can do that with your music. You don't have to be a professional. You don't have to have a big audience. You know, your front porch is the greatest stage in the world. The audience that sits with you on the living room couch, that's the most powerful audience in the world. What you do with your music, what you do with your art and with your song is important. You know, John F. Kennedy said, if art is to nourish the roots of our culture, society must set the artist free to follow their vision wherever it takes them. And where music takes you can be heart and home and front porch and family. It doesn't have to be big, huge careers, because love is the greatest transaction of the arts. And we want you to express the same love that our WoodSongs kids do, that all the artists that come on WoodSongs. Love is the most powerful transaction of the arts, and we encourage all of you to use it. My name is Michael Jonathan. I'm a folk singer. I am a song farmer, and we'll see you next week on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour. Good night.
You've been listening to WoodSongs broadcast number 1134. Michael's opening song was Blues Tonight from the Painter album. Our chief engineer is Jerome Gall. Our TV director is Maria Claire. Technical assistant star Brian Klausing, Eric Anderson, Dan Field, and Gavin Clark. The WoodSongs crew member of the week is Shannon Davis. And our WoodSongs partner of the week is Stephanie Kerr. Our show is produced with the support of Martin Guitars, the Kentucky Department of Tourism, and VisitLex.com, welcoming visitors from all over the world to Lexington, Kentucky. Special support provided by Highbridge Spring Water, Clarion Hotel, Nate's Coffee, and the Travel Host magazine. WoodSongs and the WoodSongs symbol are registered trademarks of Rachel Aubrey Music and distributed worldwide by the WoodSongs Radio Network and PRX, the Public Radio Exchange. For Michael Jonathan and the entire WoodSongs crew, this is Dorothy Edwards. We hope you will join us again next week for the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour. The online version of WoodSongs is a free gift to our fans, provided by VisitLex.com and KentuckyTourism.com, inviting fans and families worldwide to attend our live broadcast tapings at the Lyric Theater in historic Lexington, Kentucky. The Encore section is next. You can support our massive online archive of shows by becoming a WoodSongs partner. It's as simple as a PayPal click on our website, woodsongs.com.
Let's give Dorothy a big round of applause. She does this every single week. Let's give you a big round of applause. And I have to tell you, nothing happens without this amazing all-volunteer WoodSongs crew. They're all volunteers. They work so hard. They solved every single problem. They did great. And Jerome, I don't know what you did back at the audio board, but everything was fine. Yeah, we fixed it. What was the problem? I know you said it was Dan's fault, but we know that's not true. We always blame everything on Dan.
The difference between 5 and 7 on a cable.
Ah, okay. Well, you were a teacher, right? So you know how to count and stuff. Numbers are hard. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to get on with our encores, and so what we're going to do is we're going to go with Nick first, and then our WoodSongs kid, and then we'll end the evening with Mackenzie. What do you want to play for us, Nick?
I want to do a song called Lover's Dream.
I'm sorry I don't smile too much. I don't wear a friendly face. I'm sorry I stare speechless at the trees, just trying to figure out who I should be. And I know that it's selfish, and I know that it's cruel. I'm sorry for these things I do. I never cared much for crowds, how they try to push me around. Oh, but I don't like to be alone, surrounded by the great unknown. I'd rather be holding you and sharing life like we do, dreaming about our future home. 'Cause I love you, my dear. Yeah, I love you, my dear. And as long as we're both right here, well, losing you's my only fear. I dream about evenings on the porch, watching dusk through an empty glass, as the sun's finally setting on my life. It's you there by my side, and our love has grown big as mountains. We're fighting off the death day by day for one more chance to say, oh, I love you, my dear. Yeah, I love you, my dear. As long as we're both right here, well, losing you's my only fear. Yeah, losing you's my only fear.
Thank you, Nick. And as a reminder, the art, what we're going to do when we're done with the encores, we're going to take a quick photo under the WoodSongs sign, and then the artists will be in the lobby. They'd love to say hello to you, at least thank you for coming out, so don't feel like you have to rush out right away. They would mean a world to them if you'd stop and say hello before you left for the home. Reese Carroll, you are a rock star, my friend. You did a great job. Boy, you played that perfectly.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You were leaning into bending those notes, man. You were right spot on time, everything. That must have taken a lot to learn how to do that.
It didn't take more than a week, but it was a process, but it was.
A week. Okay. A week. Okay. All right, so I'm going to leave that alone because you're obviously a superstar. We don't deserve this. So what are you going to play for us?
I think I'm going to do a Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs tune, Ground Speed.
You really love those guys, don't you?
I do.
And you do it so unbelievably well. Reese Carroll, let's do it. Thank you. Good job. So Reese Carroll's going to be out in the lobby too when you're done, right? You're gonna say hello to all the folks. All right. So before we get to Mackenzie, we are in the middle of doing something huge. We have collected over 1,000 instruments from across America, from Texas to New York. Over 300 of them were collected just in Roanoke, Virginia. What we're doing this weekend, we're putting them all on trucks. We're collecting all these instruments, and we're bringing them to Asheville, North Carolina, and we're going to be handing them out absolutely free to all the musicians who lost everything in the storms of Helene. And this is going to be this is at Warren Wilson College this coming Sunday it's happening. Now, here's what became uncomfortable. While we were working on collecting everything for the musicians of Helene, our own home state in Appalachia had massive floodings. Pikeville went underwater. Whitesburg went underwater. Hazard went underwater. Prestonsburg went underwater. And the musicians out there, I mean, they lost cars, homes, family members. I think, 27 family members right now have been lost in those floods. They've lost their instruments. So what we're doing is we're going to continue the instrument drive. We're still collecting instruments. What does that mean? If you've got a guitar, banjo, fiddle, trumpet, flute, harmonica, drums, anything that you're not using, instruments deserve to be played, not under your bed, not in a closet, not hanging on a wall. If they're not being played, consider giving them to the musicians of your own home state in Kentucky. So at the Kentucky Theater or any Willis music store in the state of Kentucky, you can bring this donation. They're going to take care of it. And on April 13th, we're going to be going to Pikeville, the Appalachian Center for the Arts, and we're going to be giving away hundreds of more instruments to the musicians of Appalachia. This Sunday, we're going to be in Asheville for the musicians of Helene. If you've got a couple of dollars that you could help us out, we've got to rent trucks and expenses and get people there and back and fuel and everything else. So as you're leaving tonight, if you feel that you can financially support something, we would love to have your donation so it goes exclusively for these projects so we can get this done. It's a massive, massive effort, and it takes a lot of good-hearted people. And to give a demonstration of that, we have a friend of ours that drove all the way out here today from the western side of the state, from Mayfield, that got hammered by tornadoes. And WoodSongs brought hundreds and hundreds of instruments to Mayfield and Dawson Springs to give out to the musicians out there. And from Mayfield, we have a friend that loaded her car up with instruments, and she's here tonight. Please welcome Shannon Davis to the stage. So you got to get a little closer to the mic. So you worked with the music store out in your area, right?
I did. I worked with a great music store. It's a hometown store. It's called The Gray Mare. It's owned by a friend of mine, Austin Carter. And they were the drop-off station, and we had people come by and drop off some awesome instruments, and they all made it right here to WoodSongs and to your awesome, event. So thank you. And you yourself, you're a songwriter, you're a musician. So this was something that was near and dear to your heart to help out, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, and I'm also Appalachian born, so it's super important to me, as the mountains always felt like my home, even though I was kind of a lost daughter. But I just feel like it's the arms of the mother hugging you while you're, there. And so I wanted to give back, and I'll be going back soon to Asheville and, visiting friends and supporting all of their local music and all of their awesome events that they have out there. And it does take a large, music is a wonderful, it's small, but it's a global community, and people are willing to help out, and that's what's helping out now. So again, if you've got the ability, if you've got the inclination, if it's something that you feel you can do, our crew members are going to be out there with a little contribution box, and anything that you can do is going to be a huge help, because we have not one instrument drive in Asheville, but we've added a second one for the musicians of Appalachia. So, having said that, why don't you, I'm going to let you introduce, just repeat after me. Say, okay. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. My name is Shannon Davis. My name is Shannon Davis. And
we'd like you to become a WoodSongs partner.
And we'd love for you to become a WoodSongs partner.
So everybody can keep working for free?
So, no.
Yes.
So everyone can keep working for free.
There you go.
I'm kidding.
Please, no, we're not kidding.
I was kidding about not kidding about kidding. I don't even know what that means.
Say, please welcome Mackenzie Fipps.
Please welcome Mackenzie Fipps.
There you go.
The song is called Pink Whitney.
Walk into a bar and grab a stool from behind. Tell the bartender what's been on my mind. Says I need a drink and asks me what it be. I look up at the shelves and think what's gonna help me. There's Jack and Jim up on the top and Malibu below. There's a gal, my girl's all up if you really know. Oh, some would drink tequila on the rocks from a glass. Some would drink whiskey till they fall flat on their ass. For me, I try to be cool with responsibility. But if you wanna see me buck wild, bring pink with me. Me and Whitney, we go back, but let me tell you now, she's a firecracker and will run you out of town. Don't you even try to think that just a taste will do. She'll make you up, put you through hell, and make you forget too. Not a lie, know of her, while others are great friends. But if y'all visit too much, who knows how the night will end. Oh, some would drink tequila on the rocks from a glass. Some would drink whiskey till they fall flat on their ass. For me, I try to be cool with responsibility. But if you wanna see me buck wild, bring pink with me. Oh, a funny boy sometimes find and it ain't pretty. Other times we're best friends living happily. At the end of the day, it's clear to see I sure love Whitney, but she don't love me. Oh, some would drink tequila on the rocks from a glass. Some would drink whiskey till they fall flat on their ass. For me, I try to be cool with responsibility. So if I'm out here acting buck wild, play pink with me. Ooh, pink with me.
I got a spare room behind the barn for my Mac attack when I'm on the farm. You click it on, then you click around. See the cyber fun I found. Well, I'm a hayseed of the first degree. I'm a country boy from Tennessee. But on the screen I'm so debonair. I'm a cyber hunk with a full head of hair, and I'm lurking online. click of my